The Green Edition, in association with the Root brand, inspiring greatness with natural solutions for people to reach their highest and healthiest potential.
Hello and welcome back to The Green Edition, where we are talking about the future of the health and wellness industry. And of course, whilst the Root Brands is the presenting sponsor of the program, all the opinions and views in the following segment are of course general in nature. Now, my guest wanted to bring the issues that many Indigenous people face to our attention today, be it the US, South America and the Pacific Islands, and here in Australia as well. It's clear that more needs to be done as the health concerns of many often go overlooked. The Root Brands is one company that is looking to change this, and CEO and founder Clayton Thomas joins us now to discuss his thoughts. Good to see you, my friend.
Mike, thanks for having us. Are we going to speak about the Indigenous population today? Because the originals usually have a little more insight than we do, and we're going to bring nature and a little bit of science back to the origines.
Okay, all right, well, let's dive into this. So, Clayton, in your opinion, why do you feel that Indigenous communities are too often undeservedly, underlooked when it comes to helping them address these issues of, health and psychological, mental, physical, and of course those environmental toxins that we see, and I understand that the Root Brands is always keeping an eye on?
It's one of those things that is a much longer conversation than we have time to dive into, but you can look at it as some of our original inhabitants, as we can look at, they've been pushed aside by society, and there's not a lot of support for them. If we look at the Native American population in the United States, they were pushed onto reservations, and they were pushed into environments that were not the ideal land. Right. It was land that no one else really wanted. And they said, great, you guys can have this because maybe it's polluted. It's close to a water supply, but the water supply is a little polluted as well. So it'll poison you over time, might kill you. It's OK. If there's less of you, it's less for us to deal with. And I think we've seen that all over the world. And it's really unfortunate because there's so much to learn, from our ancestors, from each country that we live in. But it's also important for each of us to be of service, to every aspect of culture.
Yeah. So does your company provide avenues to address the wellness needs of these communities that you've outlined? Clayton, take us through a bit about what the Root Brands can actually offer and how you're helping out.
No, the biggest thing is actually cleaning up the environment and cleaning up the environment of people first, because as I mentioned, the majority of us are dealing with these toxicity issues. But as you look at other populations, you're going to identify that the majority of the health issues that these original populations, these native populations are dealing with are all due to environmental impacts, whether it's heart cardiovascular issues, if it's diabetes issues, if it's blood pressure, if it's obesity. All of these complications are predicated on environmental exposure, because when you look at these original populations to an environment, they weren't exposed to the Industrial Revolution, and actually none of us were. So we're all victims of our environment in that way. But for those that were here first, it's really a good idea to take care of those that created the foundation for the rest of our society. And much like in taking care of, our family and those closest to us, if you're not one to take care of those that mean the most and every aspect of society, we've degraded so much as humanity that we might as well all get taken over.
Yeah. So, Clayton, what's one of the most important takeaways that you would want viewers who are either Indigenous or perhaps are connected to someone who is, when it comes to your company, its products, its technologies? Just to summarize for me.
One, you've got really simple systemic solutions to improve healthcare and function. But because of our social commerce perspective, it's also a mechanism to create opportunities in these cultures as well, because of their impact. And whether you look at it from a fundraising standpoint or an additional opportunity for income, when you find things that work for people and you share, you get rewarded. So we can provide a health benefit as well as a financial benefit for everybody in society. But it's a really fun thing to work with those that maybe society is underserved a little bit.
Absolutely. And it's, of course, something that I've witnessed that you guys are closely working on, and it's a big part of helping everyone, really, it seems to be. So Clayton, I want to thank you so much for joining us on the program, highlighting everything that you guys are doing for Indigenous communities and your thoughts and feelings about how we can and we should do a lot more. So thank you again for your time. And of course, thank you to all of you for tuning in on today's episode of The Green Edition. And remember, it goes to everyone, stay healthy, my friends. I'll see you again very soon.